Okay. Bit of silence, please, before I begin mass. This sermon brought to you by Amigos and Becks, the absolute bottom of the barrel in home bargains. Right, this is episode 9, yeah, because I got a lot of 9 related gags.
Yes.
Okay, I wrote episode 8 again. I'm always on that. The number 9, a lucky digit in Chinese culture, meaning longevity and eternality. That's a word, yes, I checked. A biblical symbol for judgment and divine completeness. It's also my favourite Friday the 13th because Jason gets blown up, dude. Yeah, it was like a SWAT team, you remember? It's so
That's where he takes Manhattan.
No, that's the
Oh,
one.
he goes to hell.
Yeah, he goes to hell, dude. He's been a lot of places. He's got a lot of stamps in his passport, that lad. But most important of all, episode 9 of the Lager Logs is here, and it means we're ready to get naked and go dancing in the rain. Come join us. Welcome everyone to the Lager Logs Points of View with Tom and Stu. I'm Tom, he's Stu. Say hello, Stu.
Hello.
That was a dramatic pause before that happened. I like that. That's a new.
It was like one of these days. Will I just say hello, Stu? And it's like never. You're better than that shitty joke.
I'm always leading you into that trap and giving you the bait, and you never take it.
Hello.
Party people, we're here. We're queer. Don't tell Nigeria. We hope everyone has had a fantastic week. If you've been waiting all that time excitedly for our newest episode, but if you're marathoning all our episodes in a row, we hope you had a nice 2-minute break between episodes to rethink your life choices and or drink heavily. Well, that's the Surgeon General's professional recommendation of how to consume this program. Highly intoxicated. Listening may also cause athlete's foot, camel humps, amnesia in dogs, spotted dick, back knee, swollen genitals, and in most extreme cases, spontaneous combustion. Just make sure not to combust in your trousers, strip off, put a sheet down. How have you been, Stu? Most importantly, you've been working on your dramatic pauses. I do know that. What else is going on in your life? Not that dramatic.
Yeah, that's it. I've just been plodding along, doing my thing, doing the old 9 to 5, nice. Watching some Schitt's Creek on the sides.
You're like a
television show.
Dolly Parton, I like it.
And falling asleep and not getting enough of it.
That sounds a recipe for success, my friend. I've been doing pretty much the same stuff. I've been pretty hunky-dory. The week's actually shot by, to be honest. I was in a coma for 6 days, so that might have had something to do with it. No, it's been another week of rain on my end, so obviously try to get out the house as much as possible, enjoy the fantastic weather, bathe completely free of charge, really saved on shower gel and shampoo, and obviously anti-crabs ointment. I've been cooking a lot of seafood lately, and I do like to do the dishes in the shower while I'm in there, so it saves a lot of money and energy. So it's been a very different but fulfilling experience doing all that on the patio. The neighbours gave me a few funny looks, but I didn't laugh, so I don't think it counts. Thanks to all you lovely people out there, I wanted to say, before we get started, for downloading us, streaming us, listening to those cassettes that we sent out a few months ago in the post. Stu, I think we should bring this up as it's quite exciting news. We would like to thank all the wonderful men, women, cats. I think there was an iguana as well who liked us.
There's a dog, definitely.
On the social media side. So there's been a lot going on over there recently. Am I correct?
Yes. The strange internet algorithms have struck our Instagram and our followers. I feel like I'm not sure what we had last Friday at this time, where it was like maybe 20, or like I follow you, you follow me, and since then we're now over
basically
over a fucking 100, and it's just beer, beer, hops, beer, stout, Ollie the drinking dog, beer, 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 craft, and there's just again everything.
It's just everything. It's an absolute cacophony of beverages and beer related items. Is that what you're trying to tell me, Stu?
Yes, and from the looks, I don't think we're ever gonna be able to drink all of it. There's so fucking many weird and wonderful beers out there, and it looks hazy, so
Well,
hazy.
well, we're going to make a promise to each other now and the listeners that we're going to try our very best to try and drink all of it. And speaking of drinking, I'm thirsty. Shall we dive in, babe?
Yes.
So, I want to say before we do, like me, I think for the first time this series, we've both already experienced these bad boys tonight, right?
I have never tried Amigos.
Oh, okay. Have you tried Desperados?
Maybe.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I was just checking if you'd had any tequila-based beer, but if not, there should be an exciting one. So we're not going to drink that.
Okay.
Just to keep you in suspense. We're going to drink the Becks first.
I'll go with a little bottle of Becks.
Let's do it, man. Yeah, 275 ml. It's a little proper babby one.
Was it
I'm sure
69 pence?
Well, I'm sure I paid £5 for this in a nightclub before. So yeah, anything lower than that was a bargain. So I think it's pretty certain to say that we have reached the absolute bottom of the barrel in home bargains. So it's a good thing that we're maybe coming to the end of our season, and we might be, trying greener pastures and seeing what's out there, I would think, come next season. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, it's
almost like
see-through, isn't it?
Yeah. And light.
Yeah, not a lot
Maybe
going
we're
on
just used to drinking so much darker.
Yeah, I think so, man, to be honest. That might be it. But yeah, I can actually kind of see through this one, which is good. A goldfishing one. That's weird. Cheers, bud.
Cheers.
Just fine, yeah. Just
a nice, simple lager.
Yeah, decent beer. It's been a long time since I've had this, and I remember a particular time of my life after the Carlin drink anything to get pissed phase, and just before my discovery of darker beers, where this was my tipple of choice for some reason. I can't quite put my finger on today why that was, but it might have something to do with it being quite just, dependable, right? Reliable, just a solid lager. But I think the same reason, I think Heineken is quite reliable. It doesn't blow me away, but its taste makes it a dependable lager. You know what you're getting, I think. What do you reckon?
No, definitely. I'm always like trying to find like that baseline lager, and to me, I usually just settle with like Budweiser. I always knew what I was getting.
Yeah,
it was like when you go to like a bar and they've changed it all, and you end up with Miller's, and then you get going, I fucking hate Miller's. When you can find that one dependable beer that you could find almost everywhere. I settle on that, but I was surprised to see this on the shelves of home bargains this week. I was like, different?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But I know what you're saying. Like, it's, your Buds and your kind of, Becks to an extent, but definitely your Heinekens. They're like the kind of Pidgeys or, Weedles of the beer world. They're quite easy to come across and to obtain and to hold in your system.
That's well thought out analogy.
Thank you. I did try to think as I spoke for once. It's a pretty rare thing.
My son would understand that.
Get him on. Does he like beer? Well, let me tell all the people out there a little bit about this beverage while you just enjoy it, my friend. Don't glug too loudly. An international pale lager coming from the home of the David Hasselhoff fan club, Deutschland, and stands at a decent 4%. Brewed in Bremen by Brewery Beck & Co., founded in 1873. Nothing at all happened for 120 years or so. Then, since the early 2000s, they've had a bunch of twists on the recipe that haven't made it to our shores. Beck's Gold. I have no idea what makes it taste different to standard Beck's, but being only a percentage higher than the standard version, it being in their own words milder doesn't really make any sense. But I would be interested in seeing how it tasted. A bunch of our favourite fruity beer variations followed, most notably Beck's Green Lemon and Beck's Ice, which is lime and mint flavoured.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe not. I'll be intrigued to check it out. I'm open. Do you know what I mean? We always say this. We're open to trying fruity beers, but just haven't had the best luck with them in the past. In 2012,
Copperberg's lemon and lime fruity lager.
Is that
I showed
they
you
do?
yesterday.
I had no idea they did that. No.
Yeah, it's an Asda's.
What's that?
I thought I was in the cider section, but I wasn't.
I thought there was only two supermarkets, and one being Home Bargains and one being Lidl. I don't. If there's other supermarkets out there, I mean, I haven't tried them, so I wouldn't know about that. But if you find that, if you find something interesting next time you're out, just send me a picture, and I'd appreciate that because we could talk about it on the show then.
I'm gonna have to pause this show for a minute because the dog's going tits because the cat's here to annoy it. So I'm going to chuck the cat outside.
What's the cat got to say about Becks?
I reckon it's polishing off the rest of the chicken balls bit in the kitchen. That little cunt's going to get launched.
Are you back? How are the chicken balls? Are they okay?
I'm afraid they didn't make it.
Oh no! They've been touched by the hand of a feline. Gutted, man.
Mauled by a wee cat.
Well, you can't keep them on the floor. That's you know what I mean. I know. That's how you get down at yours. Just leave stuff on the floor. Just chuck it for later. But you got to think of storage possibilities. That's what I think. Are you okay to continue on, or would you like some more time with that pussy?
Moving on.
In 2012, which I actually remember happening, Becks ran a campaign called Follow Your Inner Compass, which doesn't sound pretentious at all, which featured musicians creating their own label art for the bottle. Do you remember that, dude?
No.
No, I remember. No. I just remember always picking up and going, what is this? Is this Becks? This better be Becks, right? Because Becks is my favourite beer, so this is better be Becks. Yeah, just checking it was. But it's something they've done quite a lot since the late 80s. And yeah, I think let's drop the red lights on the history lesson and jump into something a tad less interesting. Former Brews surveyed. That's not a good one. I apologise. At least another 30 minutes working on new title for next week. Honestly, back to the drawing board with that one.
Come on, we've said it already. We're hitting the bottom of the barrel now.
Yeah, expect that for the rest of the duration.
Quality dips. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of dips tonight, a lot of bumps in the road, but we're going to keep trucking regardless. What's happened to you, Stu, since we last spoke in the land of beer and honey?
I managed to obtain 2 bottles of beer this week, or sample. So I tried Broughton's.
Pay the publishers for the sample.
No.
Bomb. Continue.
Just leave it. So much more editing to do with these bombs. But yes, it was Broughton's Brewery double IPA. I came across this one in Lidl's and thought.
Both done a double this week, funnily enough. Great minds and all that, man. That's awesome. How was it, my friend?
It's described as a beer of character, strong and hoppy, and they did not lie. I mean, it was strong. Like, it was 7.5. Every sort of mouthful kicked like a mule.
It's almost as much as Gold Label. Be careful.
So it was like big glug, and it's like, oh, that's nice. Oh, it's better too. It's like, fuck. And it's just definitely not a session beer.
I'm intrigued to try an IPA, like a really strong IPA, because obviously they're mostly just kind of around the 4 or 5 area. Yeah. It's mostly your darker beers that are stronger, so it's interesting that there's a more hoppier beer out there that's got that strength to it. Interesting.
I definitely really enjoyed it, but it was something that you just can't take lightly. It's just it is just one of those. I probably don't have one 2 of these. If it's 2, I'm falling asleep during Schitt's Creek. Like, I'm not seeing the end of that
You're
22
falling
minute
asleep
episode.
anyway, so you might as well have 10, you know what I mean?
So,
Like we said in the show. So treat yourself, man. Come on.
but yeah, by the time I finished that bottle, I was like, yep, my night is finishing shortly. Like, that's it. We are on
Countdown is
the
good.
wind down. Like, Daddy is taking his medicine.
That sounded weird.
We're just trying things out. And then last night, I waved goodbye to the working week with a bottle of 80s Revival from
Yes,
Cool Brewing.
finally.
Yes,
Jeez, come on, man.
this was their 80s Shilling Ale.
Nice, buddy.
And I was like, what are they? What? They'll fucking say anything in front of ale nowadays.
It's the old pricing for the bitter, I think. Might need to do the research on that one, but I think that's what it is off the top of my head. Because obviously Bellhaven do the same. Yeah, the Shilling Brewski, which is lovely.
To be honest, if they just cried at a Shilling Ale because it tastes like a mouthful of pennies, I would agree with you.
Is that bad, was it?
No. I mean, it was a dark bitter ale. Definitely fruit, because there was a good kind of malty fruit flavour to it. Smooth. There was no harshness drinking it, but after a while, just that really metallic, like, are my gums bleeding?
Yeah, man.
Penny taste.
It's weird. That's a recurring thing with a few bottled beers and a few that we've done on the show. Like when we first crack them open, they're quite flavoursome. I don't know whether it's just being out the bottle. I don't know, dude, but it just doesn't really hold its taste.
Yeah.
As long as say, draft. It tends to be really tasty kind of first when you open it, and then after a bit, it's like, as you say, it gets a bit metallic-y, it gets a bit of a strange taste to it. So I think we just need to drink quicker, obviously.
So, sink it.
But that's a pretty good combination. But I think that 80s Revival was from who? Sorry, it was that part of that group of beers that you bought from the local
Cool Brewing.
Shout out. Really interesting brewskis from what you've shown me. I had a pretty good week. Does that sangria count from last week?
You've not finished it yet. You've drank it through this week as well.
Trying to hold off for special occasions, and obviously being on Skype with you is a very special occasion. Wednesday I had a little midweek treat. As you know, we've already mentioned it. We're going through the scraps in Home Bargains now, but managed to find a couple of other picks. We got a couple of Green Kings specials. First up, had a blast on one of their quite historic strong bitters, Abbot Ale. I think I've had a tin of this before, but I'm not too sure. It's nice. It's almost got like a Nuki Brown kind of sweetness to it.
All right.
Which is a bit unexpected, but rather tasty with a nice smoothness to it. And I followed it up with their classic IPA. Kind of same consistency and baseline flavour to it. Not a lot of treble as the Abbott, but a bit more hoppy and kind of like a weird fizzy water back end to it, like kind of Alka-Seltzer vibes.
Yeah.
Weird, man. Yeah, no taste really going down the chute. Not anywhere near as tasty or as rich as the Reserve IPA we covered all the way back in episode 2.
Yes.
So I would recommend that in terms of their IPAs. I think that was the stronger one for me, and I'm guessing for you as well. You liked that one, didn't you? So
yeah, I was surprised. I was way back to episode 2. I was a wee bit apprehensive, going, "Oh, IPA."
Yeah.
Don't know. And now it's just like it's old hand. But
wasn't really an IPA, was it? It was, but it didn't really taste like an IPA. I think that's why we both got on with it a bit better.
Yeah,
I think.
But I was in Home Bargains this morning, picking up a few things, and they do now stock Abbott's Ale. So
awesome, man! So spoilers, what we're doing, season 2, episode 1.
But I was
I just kind of doing that laugh. Done that few too many times. Tap out on the laugh. That's done. Sorry guys, apologies. Okay. No more laughs for me. I'm not gonna laugh at all during the rest of the show. So complete stoicism from here on out.
I drink whilst you talk. But yeah, there's some. I like to think that we've achieved something in the sense that when you walk in Home Bargains, you look at the weird and wonderful beer shelf and it's like, done it. you, done, 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 done. Like there's like maybe 3 beers on there that we haven't like done on the show, but I was like, we've accomplished something, Tom.
Finally, with our
Won't
life.
translate, but
Yeah.
fuck. It was kind of like, yep,
Yeah,
they
man.
didn't stand a chance.
we came, we saw, we conquered, I think, man. But there's one other thing left in there. I'm not going to spoil it, that we're thinking of maybe doing for the final episode of this season. That should be interesting. But other than that, yeah, I think we've wiped them out, to be honest, man. Poor
Yes.
buggers. But for me, otherwise, last night I jumped onto a pair of Little Pickups Standard. Away from the beer section, kind of squeezed in between a whole heap of other junk, was these 5 or 6 brewskis listed under Lidl's Great British Beer Festival.
Ah, yes.
And they're running stew an equivalent on your shores with more of an emphasis on Scottish brewskis,
They are,
which
yes.
is cool. Yeah, so check that out. Have you seen this? Because it's hidden away, kind of, which I didn't notice it until last time I went in.
It got brought to my attention from one of our listeners on Twitter. They sent me pictures how the Lidl's leaflet.
Yeah, you've been cheating on me. You've been getting your beer tips from somewhere else.
I had 4 screenshots sent to me, and I was like, "Oh,
4 screenshots. You're sexting now as well. That's disgusting."
And it was like it was almost just like a fucking shopping list. It's like, oh, you, a 10 of you, and you. Oh, you're fucking high volume, aren't you? Aye, maybe you and all. Come on, in the basket.
Oh man, yeah, there's a lot, dude, and we appreciate the recommendations, guys, with what to try out. As I say, a lot more potential in the upcoming episodes to jump into. But yeah, my selections that I chose were from a brewery in Kent called Shepherd Neame, and I had to go on their White Stable Bay Ruby Ale and their classic collection Double Stout. Mixed bag. The Ruby Ale was pretty hoppy, but like a bit watery.
Yeah.
But like freezing cold, it went down well with my poor man's chicken chow mein I was tucking into. But the stout was lovely. Very similar. Double stout, yeah, very similar taste profile to Murphy's. More of a kind of slightly burnt coffee twinge to it, but not overbearing. I don't really get on with it if it's too into kind of the coffee territory. If it's literally like coffee stout, it's just a bit too much. I get flashbacks of like being in the car as a kid and my dad delivering coffee and me smelling the coffee and me, puking and it's just traumatic for me. So a little bit of coffee's okay, but yeah, not overbearing, really good, somewhere in between your standard stout and your extra foreign. Because I think your double or your imperial stout tend to be a lot stronger than this. Right. So yeah, it's not really a double stout, it's more of a kind of nice middle ground between those two that I mentioned than a proper double. But good stuff, man. Really good stuff. I was happy to kind of stumble across it. So maybe we'll see what happens next time I'm in there shoplifting. So to sum up this thing we're consuming right now, what are your thoughts, Stu? How do you think it compares to... Man, we've done a lot of IPLs on the show, and I've just made that up as I've had enough of saying International Pale Lager. How does it rank alongside Chang, Qingdao, and Baltica number 7 from last week? I don't know why I clapped for it. It didn't deserve that.
Yeah,
I take that back. Chang.
Yeah, exactly. The clap is for Chang. So
I didn't get it from her. The other one.
I ranked Chang first. That was nice. Come on now. Come on.
I was gonna be serious. I know. I can't, guys. I just
that
can't.
That's been my favorite lager.
Yeah,
Chang.
man.
I reckon maybe. I'm almost thinking.
Chang said the president, right?
Yes, and does Tsingtao and Becks. I feel it's almost even, but Becks is kind of like lighter, smoother. It's not got as much punch, much of a kick to it.
Yeah, not as much flavour, I don't think, as the kind of definitely the Changs and the Qingdaos. And then Baltica had a bit more of a punch, but not the best kind of punch, not a punch that we really liked. But I think I'd give it to the Asian duo over this
again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I think this is not far off. It's lacking a bit of the taste of those two
Mhm.
fine brewskis.
Yeah.
Is that a decent assessment?
Oh, well, that's it.
Yeah.
I'd imagine maybe a majority of the audience is like, well, we've all had Becks. We know what
Mm.
you're on about.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's pretty good. That if people haven't had Becks and sorry, they have had Becks and they haven't tried those other two, I think that'd be a good stepping stone. Just think Becks, but think a bit more, flavor, and you've got an accurate kind of judgment or picture in your mind of what Chingas and Changas are saying.
Asian Chuckle
And they're
Brothers.
probably speaking in different languages that we don't understand, but it's the language of love,
I
and
hear we've
and,
got
and
another
we
bottle of
all
beer.
understand that it's universal. Yeah, I think so. What's this under my desk? Oh, some Migos. This must be here for months. I wonder where I put that. I hid it ages ago. We
You've
had a
just been
rat
holding the
problem,
door open
but
with it, haven't you?
yeah, that as well. It's good. It's a multitasking bottle of beer, which I like. It certainly pulls its weight, or stops its weight, or stops other weight. That could have been a good joke, but it's okay. We'll move on. I'll work on it and get back to you. So yeah, as I said, our second beer tonight is Migos. So yeah, this is a tequila-based beer. It says con sabor a tequila. I don't know what that means. I think that's Indian. Concept. I think it's Indian, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna open it. We're gonna drink it. We're gonna hopefully enjoy it.
Yes, let's find out.
Let's have a look. So this one's a bigger boy,
Yeah.
50 cl. I don't know what that is in ml, but we can convert that. But we're not gonna, because we're really all about drinking the beer rather than kind of measuring it. Not something we're into. I sometimes obviously measure Stu's feet for sexual kicks, as we've mentioned on the show before.
Right, back to the beer.
Right.
Oh,
Cheers, honey bear. It stinks, dude.
There's
It stinks.
like there's a sweet scent to it.
Mm. This isn't bad.
I mean, what is
It
that?
isn't
That's
bad. You know what it is? It's like shandy. It's proper shandy vibes. I always get from it. I always saw this as a kind of bootleg Desperados, but
yeah.
I've had it a few times over the last couple of years. It's not that bad.
It's almost like a soft drink. There's
Isn't it just? Yeah.
It's not like ginger beer but there's
Yeah, it's got that. It's definitely got that kind of lime. It's not just tequila. It's kind of definitely got that lime vibe to it.
it's like fucking a pint of Strongbow. I've got like a real just like this is just your basic cider.
Yeah, I think that lime punch is giving it that kind of fruity vibe that you get from a cider. But as I say, it's not too bad. I've had this predominantly with my mom and my sister, as it's one of their
Barbecue.
Well, just at any time, you know what I mean? In the garden, in the middle of the street, on the bus. It's one of their brewskis of choice, the Scutters. Shout out to them. But it almost, like tastes like shandy to me, which isn't a bad thing. So you said not a lot of experience with this one, Stu. You've had possibly Desperados in the past, you said.
Yeah, that's normally the one where they did. You buy it and then they stick a little bit of lime in it and go, really? Was
Yeah, most of your Mexican brewskis, that and your Desperados and your other one, Sol, not Sol. Sol's in Brazil. Sol, but Sol.
Well,
Is it Sol?
Well, I've seen a bottle of beer called Sol.
Yeah, Sol. I was about to say Brahma is the other one I was thinking of, but I think that's Brazilian. But that is another nice one that goes well with a lime. So you're racking in at a pretty decent 4.6%.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the first time ever on the show, there's just no real history available about this one. It's the Steven Seagal of beers. It has a mysterious past. It's a shadow man. There's no backstory, no records. Just shows up when you need it the most to kick some ass and slips away into the night. It's put out by global brands and brewed in the UK. Launched around 2009, but other than that, it's a bit of a mystery. Listeners, contact us if you have any more info on this one. There's a website, a social media presence. There's a social media presence, but any behind the scenes info is a bit hidden away. Maybe
Yeah.
Danny Trejo is pissed at Amigos cultural appropriation and is slowly wiping their story from the textbooks, one line at a time. Geez, they're coming for me after my planned revival of the Black and White Minstrel Show next. It's a timeless classic. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Stu, my good friend, let's enjoy our mysterious bevies and move on to more illuminating matters. After the rave reviews from last week's show, we thought we'd just do exactly the same thing with a little spin. This time, we thought it'd be fun to discuss our favorite drinking moments in video games.
Yeah.
So,
What
yeah.
other mediums do we tackle after that?
Yeah, we're just gonna
Drinking in
keep,
books.
we're just gonna keep doing the same thing, but with a slight twist. So yeah, again, me and Stu aren't just movie and TV watching drunkards. We also like to share our floppies with each other on the weekend and play a little Amiga. So I would like if you go first again because I like to hear what you say. I want to hear more from you. Basically, is what I'm saying. So
Fair enough.
fill me in. I'm gonna try to semi-enjoy my Amigos.
You're going to consume it.
I'm gonna
So
try my damn hardest.
I had again. I've come up with two half-hearted answers.
I love that.
I know. Last week,
thought and hard work you put into the show. I really appreciate
I
it.
swear there's one or two Googles was put into it. But last week when you schooled me on TV beer with like Simpsons like episode titles and things like references, like man, I wish I had a little bit more information like on a decent Norm joke or a particular episode of Raw where
Yeah,
Stone
come
Cold
join me
caused
up here.
half it.
Have no life as well. Come
I
on.
was like, fuck, I just managed to remember two names, but
and I you know, that was well done for you from me on that side of things.
so funnily enough, what I feel like there isn't a lot of beer in video games or memorable moments. So the two I've taken are both from the popular studio Rockstar Games.
Oh, don't steal mine, because I'll be
Oh,
fuming otherwise. Nah, go
yeah,
on, man.
and the
I
fact
hope,
that
I
I've
hope
got.
it's the same. I hope it's the same.
Have you ever played Red Dead Redemption 2?
A little bit, but that wasn't my pick. But you
Okay.
go. You go.
Oh, I'll just go with the one,
Okay.
and then yeah. So early on in that game, your character Arthur has to go pick up a friend at a saloon, Lenny, and you go there, and it just turns into like a series of montages, like drinking montages, where he finds his friend. He doesn't know the guy, but he needs to go pick him up, to bring him back to his family because he's been out drinking all day. And you get to the bar, and no one's giving you any information unless you have a couple of drinks. So you go take a couple of drinks, and then all of a sudden, like the game mechanics start to get a bit fuzzy. Your character walks a bit slower or stumbles. You can't run because his legs just cut out, and he drops. And it's like, oh no, my character's drunk. And then you find your guy, and then it just video montage. Yous are all doing the can. Yous are all taking shots at the bar. You're doing barroom brawls, and now you have to fight drunk. And then you get knocked out. You wake up outside the bar. You've lost Lenny again, so you have to go back into the bar. The game mechanics are even worse now, so you're fucking stumbling all over the place. The vision's all hazy, and you're having to walk upstairs, and you fucking fall down the stairs, and you find him sleeping with one of the whores. You drag him out.
You're describing your last night out, right? No, you've gone
with the
past
library.
game now.
Yeah, aye. So
we know about those library nights out, man. Messy, very messy.
It's like a sequence that lasts for maybe almost 10 minutes.
That's class. That's class.
It's definitely fun to play. And it's like if you at any point in the game go back to a saloon or a bar and just start ordering whiskey, you'll go back to those fuzzy mechanics, trying to ride a horse half pissed.
That is class, man. No, I never made it that far to experience that. But yeah, that's
mission for fuck's sake.
Is it? I think I played the demo. Is that the one that came free with the magazine? It was on PS1, yeah.
A couple generations off. It's fine. It's fine. What's your answer, Tom?
So I was racking my brain, obviously, thinking about it. I think the only beer related video game, or the one that's pretty much centrally focused on beer, is Tapper.
Yes.
Infamously, revolves around you working a bar and
Slinging drink.
slinging drinks down the top of the bar. But I think my favorite moment in video games revolving around drinking would be, of course, it has to be another Rockstar classic. It's the Boomshine Saigon mission from GTA Vice City. A hilarious and awesome game throughout, but the drunk driving mission is an absolute masterpiece. Are you familiar with this one, Stu?
Vaguely.
Well,
I played through it in the day.
in a day?
Back in the day.
Oh, okay. Say, geez, you got all the hidden packages in a day, man. I won't go into too much explanation of the games, as I'm sure most people are well aware of what the Grand Theft Auto series is all about. But this particular mission involves Phil Cassidy, a maniac arms dealer, who shows up in the third game too. But in Vice City, you do a bunch of missions for him. And in one of them, he's hammered off moonshine and manages to blow his own arm off. So you have to get into the hospital, but because of the fumes, you're hammered too. So you have to drive while the car like sways from side to side in this hazy perspective before he dies. But man, driving around, smashing into everything while Slayer's like raining blood blasts, and Gary Busey, who plays Phil, just spouts drunken nonsense while you try to do it. It's amazing. But yeah, obviously the controls change and everything kind of slows down, and you have to kind of be really delicate with your driving. Oh, it's awesome, dude. And yeah, it sucks. They kind of interestingly, they kind of changed it after the original PS2 versions. And I didn't know it until I played the 10th anniversary edition a few years ago, but they changed the blurry effect, and it's not as obvious that you're hammered in the changed version. So not quite as funny, but AO, awesome. None the same. Yeah, great stuff, dude. Did you have another Rockstar pick?
I did. It was from Grand Theft Auto 5.
Okay.
And
great minds again.
That game, you follow three characters, and you can switch between these characters at any point in the game. So you have, I think it was the family man, Michael, and there's another guy. Jesus Christ, I should have looked up his name.
CJ.
And then, and then there's the crazy redneck Trevor. And you would switch between these characters just by like hitting L1 or something and selecting your character of choice, and it would flip across the map, and they would be driving the car, or they would be leaving their house after having breakfast. But anytime you would go to Trevor, you'd always be either walking out of a bar hammered. And I mean, I'd finished a mission with him, so he was like, right, okay, he's fully clothed and he's like getting in a car, driving away, switch characters, the cutscene. Okay, I'm going to switch back to Trevor and see what's happening to him now. Switch back, comes on, he's rolling down a hill. Like, he's driven out into the desert, the forest or something, but he's rolling down a hill in like a vest and boxer shorts. And when it stops, he gets up and it's full on drunk mechanics. And he's like, oh man, I wish I shouldn't have partied with those guys. And you're just in the middle of nowhere. There's miles, like the road is miles away. So it's not like you can just quickly jump a barricade, sucker punch someone and steal their bike. You had to fucking run drunk for about 5 minutes before you could actually find a vehicle to get back to civilization. Just random drunk redneck action. It's like, what? You had your clothes on 2 minutes ago. How you ended up off your face rolling down a hill?
Hot and spicy, drunken redneck action. That's all I need in my life. Good choice, man. Yeah, good choice. Obviously, Rockstar's got a history of really awesome drunken moments in video games, as we've just displayed. I mean, as much as 4 and 5, on a side note, I think technically incredible. You can't beat the original PS2 trilogy for me.
The character,
personally, yeah.
The voice acting, even voice like just acting. The radio stations.
voice acting, the radio stations, just yeah, the worlds themselves, just incredible, man. Yeah, incredible. So underrated. No one even knows about them. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'm like, maybe we should talk about more of this beer, if you could call it beer.
Yeah, it's
It's just so clear and fizzy. There's no head.
yeah,
It's
just yeah. There's no head. There's no real kind of I don't know. There's no real kind of robustness to it.
yeah,
It's just lemonade, basically.
totally. This
It
is, I feel like
tastes
a
like
total starter drink.
yeah, a few of these before you head down into town with the library lot.
Totally.
This looks like something I would drink before I poured a pint of water on your leg. Something
That, that Tom, that is an
I would
intro
do.
that we can't share with our audience because they won't be able to get that.
Sure, we talked about this on air. I'm certain.
Ah, fuck. Maybe we
I'm
did.
certain. He's forgotten already. Too much
Oh
desperados for this
no.
guy. This
No,
guy.
it's just me and my amigos. Amigo.
I've actually, why do I keep thinking it's desperados? Desperados is kind of like the thing that you say, like
Would
when you
it be
go,
a better version of this? Is this supposed to
yeah,
be the same combination?
I think it's got a bit more of like a subtle kind of taste to it. To be honest, it's got a bit more. It's a bit more flavor, but it's not as kind of as This is like like lemonadey kind of limey. It's got a bit more of a subtle taste to it, but more refined flavor, I should say. But yeah, I think I'm so used to saying desperados because I think that's the thing that you think of when you're talking about obviously your tequila based beer.
Mm,
But yeah, I always saw Amigos as a
yeah.
bit of a
Like,
second rate version, but it's not too bad, man. It just hasn't really got a lot of subtlety to it. It's just very kind of
mhm.
lemonadey, very
Well,
limey.
that's it. I just
Not
looked and I thought
fantastic.
maybe there's a serving suggestion on the back that isn't like quite obviously
He
just
loves his service suggestions. This guy.
not racist. And it's like, oh, what do you mean tacos? But no. I do like the little paragraph in the back.
Danny Trejo is
A
fuming
golden,
now.
easy drinking beer with a punch of tequila flavor, enhanced with by the zing of natural South American lime flavor,
I don't
inspired
even.
by modern day Mexico's sense of vibrancy, energy, passion. Amigos is best enjoyed ice cold
I
with
think the
friends.
I
So
think
I
the
guess
lines
across
were picked in
Skype
Dundee.
counts.
yeah, yeah, enjoyed across Skype by a couple of pissheads who thought it was a good idea to start a show about drinking. I think that
Enchiladas not
sums up pretty
included.
well. You what, mate?
Nah, I'm just talking pish.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Do you expect
I
anything
wanted
less? Are you not entertained?
to hear that. That's what I wanted to hear. That slice of pish that you were
Slice it.
spouting.
I can't even say it back to you. Oh no, the tequila's taken hold. The train has left the station. What time is it, Tom? Is it
Let's
time to
wrap this
end
up.
this?
Yeah, let's wrap this up before it gets any worse. So that's it, my friend, and my friends, plural, listening tonight because that's how we see you. And, we like you not in a strange way, in a completely normal manner and a sensible amount of likage. Stu, we've talked about social media and the absolute blast people are having over there, and that it's worth just dropping everything you're doing and spending at least 8 hours just browsing it. Ignore your kids, your wife, go crazy. It's something to do before Temple Run 3 comes out, for sure. But is there anything else you'd like to mention?
Sorry. The Amigos has made me slightly gassy.
I'm going to
But
take that as a no.
yes, if you do want to interact with us on social media, please go ahead and follow us on at the Lagerlogs on Instagram and Twitter. Send us a cheeky tweet or
Has
like
to be
that,
cheeky, though. If it's not cheeky, we just refuse it.
and go onto our Instagram and like that picture of the smug prick I posted. He's easy to find. There's like 38 pictures of beer. Then there's one cheeky little prick in the middle holding a bottle of Trooper IPA.
It's like reverse Where's Wally. I think I was wearing stripes in that picture as well. So,
Mugness intensifies.
do that, guys. Jump on that. So, guys, sadly, it's over. It's that terrible part of the show where me and Stu wave goodbye at the airport with a tear in our eyes and a bulge in our jeans. But not before we make sure I've packed enough pants, I've got a spare jumper with me, and I've remembered to take my chafing ointment for the trip. You know how I get in hot countries, I peel like an onion. All that's left to say is, auf Wiedersehen, malt liquor mates. Catch you on the next one. Stu, what would you like to say after that?
Cheerio! I'm too busy enjoying Tom's company. I don't want to say bye-bye.
That's nice to say because it's a short list. I think
that? I can hear the Wildheart playing over us. Oh
there's
no!
Cheerio! On there, one person on there, and you're that one person.
Bye-bye!
It's a short list, but
This
it's an important list to me.
I tried to end the show.
Bye.
I don't always say I want to get the last word, but I kind of do.
Do it. Please relieve me of that burden.
Cheerio!
The cheery corn and cheery rice. Cheery, so good to eat. They're delicious and nutritious.
You can talk about my multi-grain
Cheerios, so good to eat.
So I'm going to chuck the cat outside.
What's the cat got to say about Becks?
I reckon it's polishing off the rest of the chicken balls bit in the kitchen. That little cunt's going to get launched.
I only eat strangers' chicken balls, not my own. Sorry, man. So I can't help you out with that. With finishing them off. I might as well talk. Seeing as Stu's not here. I mean, I prefer he's not here. I mean, I'm alone with myself, with my thoughts, with, my own kind of aura. And my aura's not being challenged. It's staying pure. It's staying clean. And it's just a nice place to be. It's like a bubble. And I like being in a bubble. I like being in the bath because there's lots of bubbles and I'm surrounded by bubbles. And it's just a nice location to think about your life. But I'm a deep guy. If the listeners didn't get that, I'm pretty kind of deep. I'm pretty intense, and I've got a lot of stuff on my plate mentally. Are you back? How are the chicken balls? Are they okay?
I'm afraid they didn't make it.
Oh no!